Is it working? Here we go. Hello everyone, this is the MilanTooner speaking, welcoming you to the somewhat delayed Tillie to the Rescue Feast of Fun Q&A stream. We apologize again for the delay that came up for the actual special. We encountered some technical troubles with Sony Vegas, which prevented us from getting it released today, but we are still going to aim for release tomorrow, so you guys won't have to wait too much longer for the special. But I'm not the only one here tonight, so how about we introduce some guests? First up, the voice of Missy Ella in Tillie to the Rescue, Michelle HURTADO.
Hey everybody!
And next up is the 2D animator, voice of Farnsworth, along with many other characters like Strong Bad and Homestar in the series, LACHIE VINCENT.
What's up?
And next, we have the voice of Thomas in our series, as well as dozens of other characters, Joel Hunter.
Hello, everybody!
And last but certainly not least, he was the original voice of Thomas, now contributing to the musical side of the series every now and then, Christopher Bouchard. Chris, you okay? Oh no!
Uh-oh.
What happened to
I think
Chris?
we lost him.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
We have lost the Chris. We lost the
Oh no, he's gone.
He's
I'm
typing.
sure he...
Oh, his thing's not
he's-
functioning.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here
there
we
we
go.
go.
He's alive!
He's returned!
So yeah, we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to be answering questions about Tunia, Tillie to the Rescue, other projects, and you might want to tune in to the end of the stream. We got a really special 11-minute surprise for you.
Yes.
Okay.
We are all very excited to read your hate mail. I'm
Holy
kidding,
crap,
I'm
we
kidding.
got like 30 people watching. That's like the highest I think we've gotten for the show, for like these streams so far.
I'm
Crap.
so excited.
Okay, so we're just gonna do a rundown of how this is gonna work for the most part. So we're gonna read your questions in the comment section, like the chat that's going on. We're gonna look at what you guys want to ask, and feel free to ask anything you want. We're just gonna lay some ground rules. One, unlike other streams, is gonna be G-rated, so no swearing, no inappropriate questions, no like anything like really, you know, like kind of crude. Like, in the chat, there's a little bit more leeway, but please try and keep this as G-rated as possible, because we got a lot of new people and a lot of fans of the show coming in, so... With that said, let's see what questions we got here and see who's here. Okay, so we got Moose, he's one of the mods, Dueling Express, he's one of the writers, and we got Connor here, DJ Get Sick, the script doctor for Tillie to the Rescue, Sir Fowler, Epic Lafitu fan, NASCAR 211, Network 1245, aka Ooh Ah Phew Phew. Interesting one. Oh my god, we have Anna Pantu in there. Oh my god. This is actually
Who?
cool.
Have what? Who?
She's this really big like fan of her. Oh my god. This is
Oh.
like I just gotta send this out. But
This-
I guess we should start looking at questions if there's here. Let's see. Anyone have any questions to start?
I see who's your favorite engines on Thomas.
Oh my god, there's a lot of favorite engines I got.
Gordon is my favorite.
I'm
And-
gonna
yeah.
have... Oh, you first.
No, you go ahead. I already said one.
I'm gonna have to say... James. Yeah, James.
Yep.
Yeah, like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, like, there's a lot of favorite engines I got, but, like, among my personal favorites would be, like, I will admit some of the newer engines are, like, pretty good. I think, I can't really name a favorite, but, like, I do like a lot of the newer ones. Like, I know people are like, oh, man, they're just here for, like, quirks and all that, but, like, I don't know, a lot of them just have really fun, endearing personalities, like, Marion, Lexi, Merlin, Theo, even, like, Hurricane and Frankie. They're just, like, they're all a fun bunch to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Was that
it?
What did you... Oh, we got a couple of new questions coming in. What did you think of Journey Beyond Sodor? I'm doing...
Haven't
loved
seen
it.
it yet. I
it
haven't
was
seen
good.
it yet. I'm waiting for the Australian theatrical release. It's kind of an annual tradition where I see it with my mum every year in theaters.
Aw.
Aw,
Oh,
Sweet.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
unlike most people, I ended up actually buying it this year. I was like, should I buy the DVD release? I mean, the digital release, even though it's probably going to be low-pitched? You know what? Screw it. I'm doing this. Hey, they actually fixed the pitch this year.
It wasn't. It was actually the pitch. The audio was in pitch. Everything was perfect this year for the digital release.
Mhm.
That's what
Yes.
surprised me.
I was like,
But-
thank
And
you.
it was actually in speed.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Though,
I
you know
also
what?
plan.
Though, like, while the English dub was on track, you know what gets my goat? The Spanish dub was in a slightly lower pitch. Ah!
Oh,
So what? I don't speak Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?
No, no.
Oh, still
You know,
Yeah.
habla español.
no.
Mhm.
They were so close.
¿Qué pasa?
Yeah.
At least they got it mostly right, though.
Mhm. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I would have had Milan's ramblings out, but then, that, like, actually editing that is how the Sony Vegas troubles came up, which kind of became a domino effect. Like, it went from that not working to
Yeah.
the program being kind of like a little
Sony
botched
Vegas.
with Tillie to Rescue. Tillie with the Rescue is safe. Like, all the project files are safe, but, like, Sony Vegas is just, like, really temperamental. It's, like, pretty much a little kid having, like, a tantrum. But, like,
Yes.
I'm not gonna spoil too much because I still want to get the ramblings out, but like hopefully Monday if I'm lucky. But I really did enjoy Journey Beyond Sodor. I wasn't one of those people who's like, man, Thomas is dying. I was like, this was a really fun special, especially after the Great Race, which honestly was just like a pilot episode for like 50 different marketing campaigns they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like it was, I still really like it, but it's just like, oh my god, you guys literally just did this for the marketing. Then again,
It's like marketing the movie. Coming
Buy all
soon
our play
to
sets
your
and
local
toys!
toy store near you.
yeah, like I can't blame them though. I mean, Brenner made 2 movies the past year, so I wanted to do this in the review, but I don't have time for it. But I just want to kind of like do a joke where it's like, so like Lost Treasure and Adventure Begins happen, and just like Mattel's like, hey, can we do a movie about like to do racing this year because we want our advertising campaign to be racing with direct-to-video episodes and stuff like that. You know what, lads? I did 2 movies. Just give me whatever script notes you got, and I'll make it a script, I guess. And then he just like wrote down every marketing executive's note from the for the movie. It's just like it's like they wanted Diesels into Disguise pack. Well, we're gonna write it into the movie. But like
Yeah.
like even with the unfinished animation, I would argue this was probably the most cinematic Thomas movie we've gotten yet. Like in terms of like the animation and like the way the actual story is told, and it's not just like, and there wasn't really any points in the movie that felt like they had to throw it in for marketing, because like even the best ones they got, like Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure is unbeatable. There was still 1 or 2 moments where it's like, oh yeah, you gotta sell toys, right?
Yeah.
For me, the unbeatable special, in my opinion, would have to be The Adventure Begins. But in
Yeah.
regards to Journey Beyond Sodor, I was actually kind of a little skeptical about this one because of all the things that were going about the internet, because of like the fact that that there was like Lexi was going to be like transgender or gender fluid or something. That made me a little worried.
Yeah, I think that was just stunted like drum up like journalism though, because like they kind of
Yeah.
said with the whole like the Great Race engines, it's like, oh, we're never gonna use them again, and now we're getting a whole spin-off that's probably gonna use
Yeah.
them again.
And
Yeah.
another thing about the special is it is the longest one to date. If you had added like maybe 8 more minutes, this would be a full-on, full-length movie. This one would have been a full-length movie. It would probably be even almost presentable to run in theaters all over the world instead of like in just some places.
Yeah, but
And
Yeah.
like before I kind of add on to that point, I don't think I heard Michelle mention it yet. Like, why'd you end up thinking of it?
Oh, Journey Beyond Sodor?
Mhm.
I loved it. I thought it was, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not very coherent right now. I don't know, I thought it was really well written. I felt like the moral got through better than it did in The Great Race. I felt like the story was more fluid. It wasn't, it wasn't all over the place like The Great Race was. It felt like they really worked on it and crafted it into something,
agreed.
yeah,
I agree with
coherent.
that.
Yeah,
So
'cause-
yeah, I honestly really, really, really liked it. I thought everything about it was on point. Wasn't our favorite in my family is still The Adventure Begins, but that one, like Lucas, my son, I don't mean to say his name. I try not to say his name, but my son really liked it, my 3-year-old. So
yeah,
yeah.
because like I think
Yeah.
like because like not only do I like the special because it feels like kind of like genuine. There's not just like everything has to stop because we gotta make like a Steelworks Thomas out. It's probably gonna clog the Toys R Us shelves for another year. Like, there's not a moment where it feels like they have to stop the story to sell toys. It felt like there was an actual natural story going along, and I'd even argue it's the most focused of the specials we've gotten so far because like most of them, maybe except for Adventure Begins, all have like 2 or 3 subplots in them. Like Lost Treasure is like, we gotta have the plot with Marion, but there's also the plot with Duck and Donald and Douglas that doesn't really go anywhere, and like all this other stuff going on. But like with Journey Beyond Sodor, there was only really 2 they were focusing on. The plot line, like obviously the whole Thomas, it's his mainland adventure thing, and then James stuck on the branch line, then going on his own adventure to the mainland, which I kind of appreciated. I think it's a lot better to keep it a little more concise and focused than to try throwing in a bunch of other things, because we gotta sell all the toys, or we gotta incorporate this character so we can keep the sales up and all that. And something I really genuinely appreciate about these is that these specials aren't just hour-long episodes they crank out to sell toys like the earlier ones were, like, because like I watched 2 other specials before and after this for reviews and stuff. The new Bob the Builder special, like Mega Machines and Fireman Sam's Alien Alert, which I saw back in March break, but I'm probably gonna have to watch again. And the Mega Machines one was alright, but kind of felt like an hour-long episode. And then Alien Alert just kind of seemed like, well, Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure did good sales. We got to do the same thing for all of our other shows specials now. Like, can you get David Tennant on the phone?
Hey, does it count as a spoiler if it's really obvious?
Sorta.
Okay, in that case, I'm not going to talk about Alien Alert.
Okay.
Should we move on to a new question? There's like a lot of them being asked.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character in Chuggington?
I like the one that makes ice cream. The Italian one.
Yeah, Frostini?
Frostini, that's his name. I like him because he makes ice cream.
I don't watch Chuggington much.
I
I'm with you on that.
I can't really pick a favorite.
Well,
because I just barely know their names.
Yeah.
Same here. I don't even watch Chuggington all that much.
Yeah.
Madison had a question that I thought was interesting. Would you ever consider putting My Little Pony characters in Tunia?
Oh boy.
I felt like this might be like a controversial question, so.
Okay.
But don't worry, I can get this out of the way really quick.
Yeah.
First off, I'll get my opinions on the show out of the way. It's alright. I saw a few episodes and I heard about the movie. The movie is a little bit questionable animation-wise, but like I do appreciate like the effort that is genuinely going into it. And like the show itself is alright, but it's just the kind of the big reasons I avoid using it in Crotinia right now is because one, the other crossovers that tend to mix Thomas and My Little Pony, which usually end up being kind of bad. Like, what do you mean no one wants to see my Thomas sipping with Twilight Sparkle?
What voice is that? That sounds like a character.
Like
Sylvester the Cat, I think.
Well, this is just like a genuine nerd voice. It's like, get with the times, man. Everyone sips Henry and Applejack because they're both hardworking.
I would explain why it's wrong for a train and a pony to be a couple, but last time I checked, Milan wants to keep this stream rated G, so let's just move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
good idea.
Let's keep it going. Let's see what's next on the list. Yeah, just to get the Chuggins one out of the way, there's a reason why Puffer P. Nolan came first. They're pretty cool. Although the Chuggineers are cool, too. But anyways, next up.
Dueling Express asked, who's your favorite animated Disney villain of all time?
Oh, well, oh boy. That's actually a tough one. Cause, like,
Captain Hook. Captain Hook for me, no questions asked.
Okay, I'm gonna...
Yes! That's the one, yep.
For me, it's Yzma. Pull the lever, Kronk!
Okay.
Why do they even have that lever?
I bet you weren't expecting this.
Okay, okay, for me, I'm going with a bit of a normie one, but I don't know. It's a tie between Ursula and Hades because they're both fun. Like Ursula's just like she's basically a mix between like a Shakespearean actress and like a car salesman, and then you got Hades who literally is just a car salesman.
Yeah.
What?
Wait. Wait, if I'm allowed to change my answer, does it count if I say Bill Cipher?
I guess we can count TV animation.
My internet
Alright, then
won't
Bill
stop
Cipher.
cutting me out.
For me, my favorite villain. Oh boy. Oh man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with like these are my earlier memories. There's 3 of them: Jafar from Aladdin, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, the animated one, and Scar from The Lion King.
Yeah, those are pretty solid.
Be prepared!
My voice.
I don't-
My voice actor had
Hey,
literally
Joel.
threw his voice, so I had to get
Yeah.
Jim Cummings to save it.
Right.
That's how.
Did y'all know that?
Yes.
Did y'all know that? Yeah, I guess everyone knew except for me that Jim Cummings took over halfway through Be Prepared. I didn't know that
Right.
until like yesterday.
Yeah, it's like I
I
heard
always
about it a few
knew there
years
was-
ago, and it's like I'm
Yeah.
just like, dude, Jim Cummings is a god among mere mortals. Oh god.
I know.
I know
he's
it. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Even when I was younger, I could already tell that there was a voice change, but I didn't know
Yes.
what it was. You can hear it right
Yes.
after he says, "You won't get a sniff without me."
Yeah, that's when he threw it out. I think is he just
Yeah,
like
probably.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because like when I was like 4, I had The Lion King memorized. I acted it out over and over and over. I sang all the songs, and so I noticed that too, that it sounded a little different. But I thought, well, maybe Jeremy Irons got like really into it or something. So you know.
yeah, and,
But no, it was
and-
Jim Cummings.
yeah. Here's
I
something
didn't even
interesting about-
notice it. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah,
That's how
it's
great Jim
very. Yeah, it's very
Anyway,
subtle.
I
That's that-
actually have a little piece of interesting trivia in relation to Jim Cummings. I found out a few years ago from a girl that I used to work with that she, like a cousin of hers, is married to the nephew of Jim Cummings, and his extended family lives in my town.
Ooh.
So there may be that off chance that I may run into him, because I have heard from a few people that they have seen him in my town, and I am like,
Look out for him.
Oh my god. Oh my
Look
god.
out for
So many connections. Imagine having Jim Cummings on Tunia. We're not making promises, but
Ooh.
I mean,
Ooh.
if I was barely able to afford the original voice actress of Callie, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't hurt asking. Just like
Maybe he'll do us a favor. Maybe like if he's like in Pocatello, Idaho, he'll just
just like
Yeah.
you know, Jim Cummings, do you want to do our talking train crossover show? We'll pay.
yeah,
you."
just guest star.
worst case scenario, he'll say no.
Oh,
Best case scenario, we do a Darkwing Duck episode.
Yeah.
let's get dangerous.
All right. Okay. So next question. This one I actually kind of want to get to because this would be really, really interesting. What's everyone's biggest obstacles they've gotten with their online careers? Asked by the amazing Mainland Studios, who actually contributed a bit of modeling and animation to a couple of the next episodes after Tillie to the Rescue.
The biggest hurdles of an online career? I don't know that I've had any at the moment. That's kind of an unanswer, but it's been really easy so far for me. What about you, Joel?
What was the question again? I'm trying to find it. What was it again?
Your biggest-
obstacles they've gotten with, like we've gotten with our online careers.
I'm gonna have to think about that one just for a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I think I know one of mine is just like getting time to record, because I have 3 dogs and a 3-year-old, and it's really noisy in my house pretty much all the time. So that's probably been my biggest hurdle, is trying to find time to, because my sound booth isn't that well insulated. So that's mine.
There's actually can I insert this here to Michelle?
Yeah, I'm done.
So there is a way that I have heard that there is a way to kind of make your studio a little more insulated on the cheap. And this I learned from my voice acting mentor, Christopher Miller. He said that get those cardboard egg crate cartons, get those ones that are kind of cardboard made or however they're made, spray paint it black, and then mount it to your wall. It'll act like what are those called? Oh man, the word's escaping me. But
insulation. Oh, act like
insulation. It also kind of helps block out the noise. Just it kind of acts like a disruptor of sorts, makes things a little more isolated.
Oh, okay. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, another good thing to get. This one is kind of pricey. I plan on getting it. It's called the Chaotica Eyeball. It acts as an isolator and a pop shield for your mic all in one. And I have seen people use this. There's a lady that apparently does voice work for Disney, and she used it, and she sounds, even though she's in a big room where it's kind of echoey, when she starts talking into it, it sounds like she is in an actual recording studio.
Oh, I'm looking into this right now.
Yeah, the Chaotica Eyeball, Kaotica.
Ooh, it is $200.
I know, that's why I said it's pricey.
People are going to start commissioning me, yeah.
Yep, I actually got to get started on that one soon.
Yeah. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of the hurdle for me, it's kind of almost like what Michelle said, is also time to do it, because there's a lot of things going on. There always is something going on, especially in my household, always. So I try to cram everything I can in together, but that just wears me out. So yeah, trying to find time to do it and trying to stick to it.
I guess for me it's just kind of like two major things: scheduling and trying to get things out. Because I think you've all seen with the scheduling part. But I guess also too, just kind of like pushing through a lot of stuff that tends to happen. Like high school was like, it went from okay to absolutely insane, and then there was trying to get Tunia started up, and then rounding up a cast and trying to get animation out and trying to kind of get my name out there and joining Frederator, and it's just kind of like, whew, what a ride. But
yeah.
I think the big thing too is just kind of like, whenever like an obstacle comes along, sometimes you just gotta push through it and kind of like prevail, because like, even when something horribly wrong is like let's say your 25-minute long mini movie gets severely held back in production, you just kind of gotta go like, you know what, burn in the midnight oil, no sleep tonight. I mean, I don't recommend it, but you know. But that's just, yeah, that's my I guess that's my obstacle. So what next should we do for questions?
I think my biggest obstacle was a Mr. Men Valentine's Day cartoon I made like last year. I was really pushing to get it out in time for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that never works for me.
I had to stay up late. I had to redo all the clips. I had to render.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do something with all those clips, and that is why I wouldn't recommend doing animations with MS Paint and Windows Movie Maker. Next computer, I'm switching to Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a question that interests me.
Hello?
Hello?
Ah, Christopher's back.
Oh. I hear an echo. I saw another question I kind of liked. How hard is it for you guys to voice act animated characters?
I gotta think on that one. I think I gotta check something too, so I'll let you guys go over for a sec. I'll be back shortly.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me it kind of varies depending on what character I'm doing. Some characters I can just jump into without a second thought, like Caitlin from Thomas and Friends, and now I'm not doing it right because I'm on the spot. But like, there's some like Caitlin I can just jump into. Apparently not now, but Caitlin and like Rosie and stuff. And then there's other characters I kind of have to think about, and I don't know. I hope someone else, Joel, are you here? Can you add on to this thought?
Yeah, for me, yeah, it's kind of a little hard because a lot of people, you guys know how many voices I can do, right?
So you are the man of 1,000 voices, correct?
I would say that. Yeah, I would actually say that because I and legitimately 1,000 voices. I've beaten Mel Blanc in that aspect. I've cataloged it because he could do, he in reality he could do like over 700, and the reason why he got that was because he was everywhere. He was everywhere. Same as the now late June Foray, and I was broken up about her recent death, and oh man, she was so close to hitting 100 years old as well. But anyway, for me to do like voices, for me when I want to do it, I have to like listen to the character for a while so I can get an idea and a feel of how they're supposed to sound.
Yeah.
And another kind of hard thing is like when my voice starts to go. Like, for example, if your voice starts to sound like you've smoked too many cigarettes, which starts to sound very much like this. It's kind of almost like Packer from Atlantis, the Lost Empire. So basically, what you want to, that's called vocal fry. And what you want to do is called the yawn sigh, in which you yawn in the lower register, kind of like this. And you do that, and it massages your vocal cords. Another one is the yawn siren, when you go from the lower to the upper, like so.
I'm learning some things here.
So at the bottom, I learned this from my most recent teacher. His name is Paul Harms, and he, oh my God, he was a saint. I cannot thank him enough. He moved back in last May. He moved at the beginning of last May, and that was a very heart-wrenching time, because at that time I was with him for over 2 years. He moved.
Where did he move?
He moved to Branson, Missouri.
Oh,
so any of our viewers who live in that area and want to get into singing and also vocal training as well, go to him. He is the man. He learned on an operatic level and many other things. He even learned from Placido Domingo. He was also part of the Camerati in California as well. And the guy, again, he is a saint. I loved him. He taught me vocal health, and from the yawn sigh, yawn siren, and a few other techniques as well. But he mostly helped me with my singing as well. So, but anyway, back to the question. Hard thing for voicing an animated character. The other thing is sitting. You can't be sitting still. You have to have room to move around.
I'm always standing. I'm always standing when I'm recording, because I'm always.
I wish I could say the same, but I'm kind of in a little closet, and I need space. I need to find a space in my house to make it so that it's not like the room doesn't have to be too big. It has to be like maybe closet space, but yet you have to move around. And for our viewers, if you want to get examples of what I'm talking about, look at the behind the scenes features on animated movies like the Disney movies, DreamWorks. Look at the actors, at how they record their lines. They are moving around. Here's a good example. Prince of Egypt. Who here has seen the Prince of Egypt?
I have.
Oh,
Not me.
Of course. It's a classic.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum. He was the voice of Aaron, Moses'
I love
brother.
Jeff Goldblum.
Now, he did a lot of movements as well, and they were incorporated into the movie. For example, when he's begging to Moses when they first meet him, he's like, "No, please, Your Highness, she's ill. She's very ill. We beg for your forgiveness." Those hand movements that he did there, he did in real life. Because when you do movement like that, it makes your performance more authentic.
Mm-hmm. When I was recording for Rosie in the newest episodes of the TCC stuff, the Great Flood episodes, I was jumping I was jumping around doing her voice, like because
By
she's
the
so
way-
energetic.
Yeah, congratulations on that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That was great. I
Yeah.
loved your performance as Rosie. That was good.
Well, thank you. There's gonna be more of her, so buckle
I
up.
bet.
Also,
Yeah, she's gonna have a big role coming up. So
Yeah.
side note and shameless segue into self-promotion. So you're gonna be able to hear me next week. I'm Harold yet again. I'm doing voices.
Yay!
On the TCC.
yay!
Yep.
You know what I've just realized?
What's that?
What's that?
I haven't spoken in a while, so let me just okay, I'm gonna answer the question. I don't find it too hard voicing characters. I just look at the script, occasionally think of what I could improve upon when recording it. But that's kind of hard to find improvements when it's written by Milan.
Sometimes.
Yeah. The biggest problem is the biggest problem I have is I voice a couple of normal characters, like there's Farnsworth, which isn't too hard, and then there's Homestar Winner. You just gotta have a bit of a speech impediment there. But then there's characters like Strong Bad, where you gotta do a kind of low and
Oh my
very
gosh, that's so
grumbly
good.
voice. Oh, thank you, miss. And the
That's
problem
so
with
spot
doing
on.
yes, and the big problem with doing a voice like that is if you're also doing a high-pitched character like Percy.
Yeah, it's just like.
So it's always best to record your voices separately, a few minutes separate. If you want to do it all in one day, do it a few minutes separate of each other, and
Yes,
just
absolutely.
recommend drinking a glass of water between each character.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I auditioned for Percy. When I first auditioned for Percy, I said, "Look out! Those transforming robots are transforming into some kind of transformed evil. I think they're called Care Bears."
Oh my God.
Yeah. I guess the answer on.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I guess to answer on my end, I don't know. It all just kind of comes naturally to me. Like, I'm not trying to say that like ego. Like, well, I don't need to practice learn how to voice act. It just happens. But like, I don't know. It's very easy for me to get a character once I get a decent handling. Like, when I got actually picked to do Harold for the TCC, I think it was probably because of like this one thing I did for the Thomas Community Channel at one point, which is kind of like the prototype TCC. You know, it was a very big mixture of a few things. I mixed a little bit of that smooth, jazzy voice that George Carlin gave him. And then there was Kevin Frank's voice in Magic Railroad. Routine flyby, chaps. Hello.
I love that one.
Yeah,
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, because, like, I honestly would have rather had those guys came back, who I think are Canadian, so they'd kind of count, rather than just, like, in the new show, where he's basically just James with, like, I don't know, it's just, like...
Yeah, Carrie Shale does his voice in the U.S. dub, and I love Carrie, but I'm not as impressed with his Harold voice, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just
Don't tell him I said that, because I love Carrie so much, but that's not my favorite Harold voice.
Yeah, he was also great in... Wait, was Carrie Shale Chuck on Budgie the Little Helicopter?
Actually, he was!
Yeah,
I think
you
so,
most
yeah.
certainly was.
Yeah,
That's
he's insanely talented.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Captain.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm just...
It's Lionel!
Yeah, look, Captain. I mean, Lionel.
So,
Sounds just like him.
yeah, so next question, I want to answer this one, because, like, it's actually kind of interesting. So this one comes from XVFan, the creator of Rolling Stock, a really cool YouTube series that you guys should watch.
I love that series.
Oh, I love that.
So he asks, what got you interested in combining different characters together for a series? I don't know, it was something that I always kind of thought about as a kid, just kind of like the generic, like, whoa, what if these characters mix together? But, I guess what interested me was just kind of like, doing like a series like this is just kind of like, I want to see how these sorts of different character interactions kind of put together, because fun fact, it partly came out from wanting to do something that was like Pooh's Adventures done right, which is like this really awful bunch of crossover videos that are apparently still getting made. Like, basically, all they do is just, like, take a movie and then grab, like, random clips from, like, Winnie the Pooh or Little Mermaid or Ed and Eddie or something like that, and just do some, like, the Ed's Adventures of the Rescuers, and it's just Ed and Eddie somehow the size of mice going on the adventure to rescue the girl and get the diamond, and apparently there's a totally spy
Okay,
villain.
we get it. Whose adventure sucks? Move on.
Yeah, sorry. But, I just, like, it basically went from that to, like, hey, you know what? These are actually really cool concepts, because, like, I think the magic of crossovers is just, like, you get to explore character interaction, which I think is a really essential point of writing. Like, you don't just go, oh, these characters totally work fine together, there's no worries about that. Like, you can't just write them like, oh, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm great. Good to hear. You gotta actually have, like, friction between them in a way. Like, a good example is in Tillie to the Rescue with Gordon and Farnsworth. They could, like, they're a little bit more than just generic, oh, I'm snootier than the other. Like, Gordon is very snooty and, like, a little bit brash, but he's also a little bit more sensible. And then there's Farnsworth, who always just kind of, like, drones on a little bit. He's always like, I'm pulling a fine passenger train over the mountain. There I was, pulling smoothly, so that fine people can enjoy the view and all that stuff.
Refined engines such as I should never have to get up this early. It's bad for our show.
Yeah,
I also auditioned with that line for Farnsworth, with a little extra tagged on, but this is a G rating, so let's just move on. I mean, if this stream was allowed to be PG, I would totally say it right now, but still.
I even tried auditioning for Farnsworth before you got the role. LACHIE? Is it LACHIE?
Lockie. It's Lockie.
Lockie.
Yeah.
Lockie, yeah. So I even tried auditioning for the role of Farnsworth. And do you know who voices him?
Frank Welker.
Yeah, yes. That's a top there. He's everywhere too. But
yeah, he's Ray on the Real Ghostbusters, Fred on Scooby-Doo. In fact, he's been Fred on Scooby-Doo since forever.
And he's also been Megatron.
That's right.
But anyway,
next
the other.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
What I wanted to say was like another example of like the character interaction was like that one. I don't know if this is gonna get turned into one. It was that one idea for Thomas and Tillie where they make a bet and they both lose it. Lose the bet or something. It's I like the character interaction with that.
I wrote that. It hasn't gone into production yet, but I hope to see it in production. It's one of the two. It's one of the two Crotonian conversation shorts that I wrote.
I said they can go downstairs.
Oh, and I'm looking forward to seeing them both because I love both of them, especially
I love that one. Yeah,
I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but can I just say the second one may involve Tillie, Strong Bad, and a tanker truck filled with hot sauce.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I'm going to say. Well, maybe not. Yeah.
I'm just trying to see what other questions we got. Not sure how long we're gonna run this for. What time do you guys want to run this till? Like, do you want to do an hour and a half or?
Go as long as we can.
Yeah, as long as we feel. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, I have a question for everyone. How did you get into Thomas?
That's actually an interesting question. I guess I always just kind of grew up with it. Like, my brother Nick had all the Thomas toys and videos, so I kind of inherited from them, and then it never stopped.
Cool.
But,
as for me, who should go next?
Go ahead, Lockie. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I know I already mentioned this in the Mullen Studio Q&A, but it all started with the video ABC for Kids Favorites. It had episodes of Fireman Sam, Postman Pat, Bananas in Pajamas, but at the very end were 2 episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. And that is where I first got into Thomas. And I bet my dad regrets buying me that video.
Well,
yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
Okay. Well, like I think most people know, but I'm a mom to a 3-year-old, and I didn't really watch Thomas before because it didn't really come on when I was a kid, like anywhere that I lived. So I didn't really watch it. But then I have a little boy, and he likes trains and cars and stuff, and so he started watching it, and like he started watching the Miller era first.
Oh.
And I was like, you know, but then we started watching the newer the episodes started becoming available to us. And then I started watching the model series, and I was just kind of blown away by how well written it was. I was like, wow, this is a kid's show. Like the characters are so deep, and the storylines are like they're not, there's really good morals, but they're not forced. And I just was really impressed with it. So we would like play with the toys, and I would do the different voices for him. And that's kind of where like my husband was like, you're pretty good at this. Maybe you should start putting the voices online just to see what people think. And I was like, okay. So that's kind of how that all started, was like watching with my kid and playing with my kid and stuff.
Interesting.
For me, how I got on to Thomas and Friends, I was 2 years old at the time, and my dad wanted me, I was home alone with him, and he wanted me to get out of his hair. I was either 2 or 3 years old. He wanted me to get out of his hair, so he put me on the couch, and he turned on PBS. And at the time, they had the old shows from the 90s, like Reading Rainbow, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, The Old Sesame Street, and Shining Time Station happened to be on, and on came a Thomas and Friends episode, and I have been hooked ever since. I can't remember what episode it was, but it just, that's what sparked it. And my mom started buying me all the old Ertl toys, and I have a lot of those, by the way. And an interesting story on that part was I would, this is kind of funny. I would I'm not sure if this is maybe one of how I used to pronounce some of the names. Give me just a second here. See if this is if this all
We
right.
can hear him typing.
Yeah, those are the names I had trouble pronouncing when I was there. Oh.
Gore nuts. But
Yeah.
that sounds a little dirty.
I know. That's why I put those there. And
Pushy, is that the other one?
Pushy.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I would screw up those names. And the other one was when my mom was still trying to get on with the whole Thomas thing, and I had the Annie and Clarabelle coaches, and according to her, one of my babysitters took them and put it on top of the
What is that?
oh, what is that? On top of the China hut. Yeah, and I kept telling my mom, I was saying Miami, and she thought I was saying Miami, but in reality I was saying my Annie. I want my Annie. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into Thomas, was through Shining Time Station, and I have been together with it ever since. And in fact, it was my retelling of the Thomas stories to a lot of people and a bunch of other things that inspired me to pursue voice acting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just noticed that Christopher's back, and hey, Chris, sorry that we maybe have forgotten about you, but maybe you could contribute to this question. Is how did you get started with Thomas? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. How did I get started? Well, I don't quite remember for sure, but from what I remember, from what my parents have told me, like, I was apparently interested in, like, cars and things and whatnot since I was very young, and that transitioned to Thomas in a while.
Oh.
Oh, and we're getting another question about Journey Beyond Sodor.
We've already answered Journey Beyond Sodor questions. I'm the only one who hasn't seen it yet.
I
Good night,
wasn't,
everyone.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't able to answer the first time because I kept getting cut out by my stupid internet.
It's
Oh, boy.
okay. Just keep it.
Alright.
Give it an answer.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see see if there's any Tunia questions in here. I think
I've got one here. I've got one. Let's see. This is from Rails to Fails. How exactly do you do recordings in the Tunia series? Do you meet up or something else?
It's actually a bit simpler than you think. I just mail out the scripts to everyone, like through Google Docs, and I have everyone go over their lines and stuff, and then when everyone finds time, they kind of just send it in, and that's pretty much the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I did all my.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you first. You first.
No, I was just gonna say. I think we all have like our recording spaces at our respective houses, and we just record there, and that's kind of how it goes, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's pretty much how it works for me.
Although I
Fun
do
fact,
kind of. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just do it quickly. Fun fact: I recorded all of my dialogue. Sorry, I recorded all of my dialogue for Tillie to the Rescue twice because I wanted to do it twice. Milan said, "Oh, yeah," because Milan said, "Oh, do you want to just redo this one bit?" And I ended up redoing the entire thing.
No, me
just
too.
because I felt like it.
No, me too. Because I did too. Because I recorded some of the earlier, like Tillie to the Rescue. I recorded for that when I first started doing this, and I listened back and I was like, this is really weak compared to where I am now. So you can ask Milan. I went back and I re-recorded everything because I was like, I don't want this to be representative of where I am now, with my talent. So yeah, I did that too.
So here's a little thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way with, like, my old Thomas clips, like, when I used to be recording. They were kind of crap.
Yeah, well, when you start out, that's to be expected, I think,
Anyway,
It's just, I've been voice acting for a while before, and they were kind of crap. Really didn't help with, like, one of a Crotunian shorts that had a frickin' cold when I recorded it.
Ooh.
Yeah, some of my recent lines that I've done for the TCC, I've been recovering from a cold lately, so yeah, that's kind of another hurdle to go over. But here's one thing I want to say that I learned from doing the TCC. Is a recording technique called ABC takes. Does anybody know what that means?
I don't.
Basically what it is and this is something that a lot of you will see in the behind the scenes of the animated movies of Disney, DreamWorks, anywhere that's animated. You will see this. They re-record their lines at least, sometimes I've heard upwards of 10 times. This is so that they do each line differently, so that the engineer who's piecing everything together finds the right one, or will take certain pieces of each take and combine it into one to create one that fits better. And a good example of these ABC takes would be Vin Diesel as Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. That is another form of ABC takes, but that's pretty much all Vin Diesel says in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Groot.
So yeah, but that is something that I've been incorporating, and it will take longer. I will guarantee you this. When you record, it will take longer when you do stuff like that. But it is beneficial because, and it's kind of a what's the word?
Tedious?
Well, that's one, but it's kind of like needed in a way.
Necessary. I do it
like necessary. That's the word.
I do at least 3 for each line, sometimes more if I don't feel like I'm getting it.
Yeah, exactly. I sometimes do that as well. So yeah, when you are recording that, you may want to do a few retakes of each line that you do. And here's another thing you might want to learn. When you record, and this is something that Christopher taught me, Christopher Miller. in case some of you don't know who he is, he's done a lot of voice acting and acting as well. He is the voice of Professor Layton from the Nintendo DS game series. And he was also on a few Disney Channel movies as well, Hatching Pete and Return to Halloween Town, as this kind of like little goblin-like guy with a big nose. And he says, "My name is the third." Yeah, he's that guy. But when you're recording, this will happen, is you'll stumble, or as he calls it, flubbing. So when you do something like that, you will say the word pickup. So that's a thing that tells the engineer or you where to make the cut, remove that, and continue on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking what else we should bring up.
This
I'm
is
not
the
sure-
club.
Yeah.
Oh, are we
You.
Milan, are you still gonna do the thing?
Yep. I want to kind of take a. I'm not sure if I should start it yet because like my fam's having a party and like they all like. They were at the start of the stream, but then they went up because they were like, "Oh, we don't want to interrupt." I'm like, "Guys, you can still play." I told them right at the start of the stream. There's gonna be a bit of background noise, and that's fine. Yeah. Should I unveil the very, very special surprise?
I think you should before we lose too many viewers.
Okay,
That would be
so-
my
Yeah.
input.
This is a special
Yep.
with balloons.
Okay, so we're
Wait,
all gonna
so-
take a break for a bit, and kind of
All right.
muting our mics. So
All
not
right.
just yet though. We
All right.
like even though the special is complete, we are going to screen the first 11-minute episode. I mean, the first 11 minutes of the Tillie to the Rescue mini movie. Who's down for that?
I'm down for it.
I'm down.
I'm kind of down for it, but isn't that
Woo,
like
get
showing
excited.
half the movie?
Don't worry, this stream's not going to be up on like up in public till Monday. So
All right.
so
Let's
And
do
with
it.
the size, even then, it'll probably be in a bit of a lower quality from a stream.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
You're right.
So-
everyone mute your mics.
Yeah, you'll want to wait until it comes out later on, because then it'll be in that dank quality.
Chris, mute your mic.
Everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to see it. Look at the. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Look at the feedback. Yep.
Yep. So we're all gonna take a break. We're all gonna mute our mics, and we'll see you after the screening is done. Don't miss it, guys.
Bye.
I am muting.
Like you on.
Far away in the country of Tunia, there lives a railway company called the Fantasyland and Fairy Tale Railway Traction Company Limited. There are many engines that live here who run the main lines and branch lines of Crotunia's railways. One of the smallest engines in the company was a switch engine named Tillie. She moved engines in and out of the sheds, sorted out all the coaches and wagons, and prepared and brought the trains for the big engines to take down the main line. The biggest diesel of the company was Farnsworth. He adored pulling passenger trains over the mountains to the towns, but he loathed any goods train.
Where are my coaches?
Hold your wheels, Farnsworth. They're nearly ready.
Well, hurry up. I can't waste time dealing with silly little engines like you.
What do you mean, silly? I spend my days running these yards while you zoom down the main line with your coaches.
Well, you work with freight cars. I work strictly with passenger coaches. I never touch those dirty things.
Well then, you're a disposable engine then. You won't be ready for emergency trains then.
Disposable? I'll have you know that I'm an indispensable engine. I am needed for passenger work. You're just as important to us big engines as that puny little tender engine from the circus or whatever.
Who are you calling puny?
Watch where you're going along those points!
Well, watch what you say about us smaller engines. We may not be as big as you, but we're just as useful as you overglossed passenger engines.
Oh, I didn't need this today. Good day, sir. I said good day.
Nothing warranted you saying good day that second time.
I don't care.
Morning, sir. Express runs right away?
Sorry, Montana, but Miss Ella had to do some rescheduling this morning. There's a slow goods train waiting at Selgrib Central Yards, and she wanted you to pick it up from all the stations in the Selgrib region, then start work on the express train.
No problem, sir. Be back in a bit.
I wish I could take a train outside of the yards.
Just then, Tillie's friend Thomas arrived. Like a few Crotunians, he often stops by from the island of Sodor, and this morning, he was just bringing a goods train of supplies to his own branch line in Crotunia.
Good morning, Tillie. How are things in the junction?
Same as always. Everybody's busy with their own jobs while I'm stuck shunting cars and coaches in the place.
Don't worry, Tillie. I'm sure you'll get a chance to work outside Colville. I was a shunter like you when I started on Sodor, but once I learned enough and proved I was really useful, I got my own branch line and coaches.
Really?
Really. So don't worry. You work your hardest around here, and I know for a fact that you'll have a bigger job soon enough. Oh, sorry, Tillie. I have to take these supplies to Gradinia now. Have a good day.
I'll try.
Selgreb Central Station is one of the biggest stations on Crotunia. Every day, passenger trains rattle and roll in and out of the station, hauling coaches of all kinds to and from the other towns and cities. And it was a very busy morning while Gordon was stuck outside the platform doing nothing.
Oh no, not him!
Hello, slow coach. What are you doing sitting around? Don't you usually pull the express?
I know, Farnsworth. I've been placed with another job. I've got to wait for my driver to pick up a schedule before I can set off.
Oh, how quaint. I suppose it's only fitting for a tender...
Don't you start that! Not like you were late by 5 minutes.
Okay, that was not my fault. It was all because of that silly little circus engine. And a goat on the line. And an overheated radiator. Look, the point I'm trying to make is, at least I'm working on...
Farnsworth! Oh, what luck. Can you leave your coaches here and help Gordon take some container wagons later?
But...
Oh, splendid. Head to the goods yard, find some wagons, and be at the Selgrib Bay container docks by 12:30. There's a big load to haul, so we'll need all the help we can get.
What?
You were saying?
Farnsworth, wait! You've forgotten about the passengers from my line! Oh, bon Dieu! Farnsworth! As Montana pulled in, Callie the rescue shunter rolled up along the other platform. She was delivering emergency supplies to all the stations on the main line.
Morning, Montana! What's up with you? You look like your connecting rods are twisted.
Sorry, Callie. Just waiting around to collect a freight train to bring around the region this morning. I've got a long run across the border today, so I can't be late.
Don't worry about it, Montana. You've been pulling the express for years. You'll catch up with it. Besides, I just heard that Henry and Chatsworth are managing the runs from Selgrab to the mainland for the morning. So you'll be covered until then.
Well, I suppose you're right. Thanks for letting me know, Callie.
Anytime, old-timer.
Attention! Oliver, you're clear for the 9 o'clock local to Selgrad Bay. Oh, and could one of the shunters please bring in Montana's wagons? We have to clear the platform for Thomas's supply train from Virginia Harbor.
Well, I best be on my way then. The station needs these supplies in case an emergency breaks out.
All right, then. Have a good one, Callie.
Breakdown Pro Tunia coming through! Woo!
A little while later at Colville Junction, Tillie was feeling upset about Farnsworth's teasing and not being able to pull trains of her own. She wanted to do more than just moving cars and coaches in a single place.
Hey, Tillie! Tillie? Are you okay?
I suppose.
Is there something bothering you?
Sort of. Is it a bad thing to be a switch engine?
Of course not. I used to be one before I joined the rescue team. Why do you ask?
Well, Farnsworth keeps telling me about how I'm just a little switch engine moving real engines around the train yard. He always makes me feel like I've got the lowest job in the yard, while all the other trains get to travel.
But how could they travel without their wagons? Should the big engines move back to collect their wagons, risking hitting the points or colliding into another train? It's your job to keep other engines safe when collecting their trains. And look at the other little engines of our railways. Tracy works as a shunter, but she also pulls the mail. Emma works at the docks and on the seaside branch. And Ivor, boy, he sure keeps a cool head running from the coal mines to the seaside branch and all around Crotunia. So you see, just because you're not as big as everyone else doesn't mean you can't do more than they can. Your size is what makes you unique.
Really?
I wouldn't say it if I didn't know.
Look out! Runaway milk train!
Oh no!
Clear the way! I'm going in!
Oh, thanks, Tillie. I owe you one.
See? The yards wouldn't be the same without you.
And that was part 1 of Tillie to the Rescue. So, what'd you guys think? Thanks. Thanks. Feels good. Oh, where's Lucky? Is Lucky okay? No worries. I mean, ah, dang it! You spoiled all the merchandise I gotta do in September. I mean, But yeah, for dang, a lot of people really seem to like this. Dude, Sodor P was in the stream. Like the guy who does like all the really cool Thomas models. He said bravo. So yeah, for those asking. Yeah. Sorry about the Skype call being a little bit glitchy, by the way, guys. And for the that's weird. Oh, the media source is still on. Maybe, possibly, not sure. Shoot. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Should we end it here? Cause like I don't want it to go too late. Plus, I've of course got the rest of the special to work on. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Woo! Oh, hold on. Wait just a sec. Trying to see what's up with the Skype call. I'm gonna listen to the stream for a moment. Oh, that's weird. The audio's cutting in and out. Yeah, this is weird. It's like... I don't think it happened before. Like... Yeah, sorry again. Mercy Resolution, someone could remix this. She's not wrong. But, yeah, I think we'll have to end it here. We got stuff to do, and I got a lot of things to check about. So, thank you all for coming to the stream. Be sure to keep the spoilers down. Tune in hopefully tomorrow where the premiere is going to happen. And I'm probably not going to get any sleep tonight. Thank you all for coming, including you guys. You guys are the best crew I could ask for. And, we'll see you later. So long.